Okay, we'll discuss on the topic JSON. So when you look into this JSON, it's a JavaScript, or we call it as JavaScript object notation. And normally we can spell like JSON or JSON. So that doesn't matter. Okay. So JSON, the main objective is that we work with objects. Okay, JavaScript object notation. That's what we call it. And this JSON, no, it's a text format. So it looks like text format where we store the information and also we pass the data through this text. Okay, and also we call it as lightweight, where we could be able to interchange or we could store and extract the data to this data interchange format. And JSON is a programming language, independent. So it doesn't own a specified programming format. It's a programming language independent. Why we go for this JSON? So mainly this is you mainly use to store the data, exchange data between client and servers, and also send data through APIs where we implement. And also we could able to read the data from the web services, and also we can able to store the configuration information through these JSON script. So because of we work with this JavaScript program, where we can easily able to convert these JSON into JavaScript objects. Normally, uh, we work with the strings when we implement this JavaScript. Okay, so here the two methods are the important one, where we can convert or we should convert from JSON strings into JavaScript objects, because when we work with JavaScript, now we work with objects. Okay, so we initialize objects and declare the variables, and we implement the values. Okay, so here every in objects now it will be initialized in case of a strings. Okay, so for example, when you take a client server, so what does a client do? The client send an information to the server. Or when you work with an application, what do? You just uh, use an app, you send a request, the information through the app will be communicated to the server. Okay, and from the server side, we get the return information from the server to the clients. Okay, so here the JSON helps in implementing the data from the client to server and server to clients. Just it has to be form should be converted. Okay, so for converting the JSON strings into JavaScript objects. Okay, that means from client to server. So for through client, strings will be passed to the server, and from server the strings has to be converted to objects, and the user get that particular information. Okay, so from string to objects we convert using the method JSON pass. So that is a function where we could able to convert the information from strings to object. That means from server to the client, the information will be converted as string to objects. Then from client to server, you have to use a JSON dot stringify function. Okay. So when you use this JSON dot stringify function, that is a time how a user he sent a request to the server. Okay, as a string. So we are sending the information from client to the server as a string, and when the server responds, it will convert from string to objects. Okay, so these are the main two functions that we use for communicating to the from client to server and from server to client. So now we'll see how a JSON can be worked, or how a JSON look like and what's the frame structure. So this JSON data The inter syntax will be derived from the JavaScript object notation, like data is in the form of a name or a value with different pairs. The data will be separated by commas. Curly braces will hold the objects, and square bracket will hold the arrays. Okay, so when you implement or when you have a frame structure for this JSON, okay, within the script you write let JSON. So this is the variable. Let JSON text equal to. So when you start JSON, no, you have to start with single quotes. Okay, so you could able to see starting with single quotes and ending with single quotes. Within the single quotes, you open the open parenthesis and close parenthesis. Within that, you write the values. Okay, so name is a no parameter name. So every information has to be every parameters has to be written within double quotes string. Okay, and it should be only in text format, not in the number format. Okay, that's what name, register number, CGPA. So all this, no, we call it as a keys. Okay, the first um, text as a key. So keys always should be in double quotes, and values will be in double quotes. That is only for the text, and for the numbers, it should not be given in double quotes or single quotes. Okay, so name, it should be a string, and the value for the name is John. So name is a key, and John is a string, and it will be separated by comma. Again, the next field register number should be given in text strings, okay, within double quotes, and then the key values, okay. So this name, register number, CGP, everything we call it as a keys, and the value of this keys will be. Uh, and then you can write the JSON format like this. So vertical declaration also you can use it. Okay. So let student. So the object name is student, and within single quotes you have to write the number. So these are the keys, and John, and then 101 and 9.1 are the values. Okay. So these are the other main aspect of this JSON format. Someone is trying to come in. Yes. Okay. So this is the format of how you write the JSON. Okay, and we'll see what are the data types that you can able to implement in JSON. One is number. So here you can give the key as register number and the value as 101. So this is the number format. So when you give the value as number, you don't want to write within the single quotes or double quotes. Just you write the number. And if it's a string, you have to mention within the double quotes. But every keys, that is a left side uh, no, parameters, you have to put it within the double quotes, and also it should be in string format. Okay. And the next value, only the text format you have to write in double quotes. The other numbers you should write as numbers. Okay. And then boolean, if it is true or false, that you can write in text, but it should not be in single quotes or double quotes. Okay. Then arrays, you can also give array format, array value or values in the form of an array, and within that particular parenthesis you give the array square bracket, open bracket, close bracket. Within the double quotes, string means you have to give it in the double quote, and number means you have to give it in single quote. Number means only numbers. Okay. Then object. So how will you give an object? Object you can give within the open parenthesis, close parenthesis. Okay. And then object name you can give to the outer side of the open parenthesis. address. So address an object. So that you can. Okay. Then null. Sometimes if you want to declare any null kind of information, you can give it as middle name. The key value is middle name and the value is null. You can give it as null, null. You can type a text file. So these are the different data types of this JSON. And when it comes under this, how you can able to, you know, uh, write it vertically. Okay. So JSON, you have to open with open parenthesis, close parenthesis, and you have to give it in within single quotes. So here it's not mentioned, but you have to give it within the single quotes. And left side key aspects are the key informations, and the right side are the values. And only the number data type should be in number, and text should be in a string within the double quotes. Boolean values, true or false. There should not be any single quotes or double quotes. So that is a format. And when you use the array values, so how will you use the array values? See, the variable name fruits and apple, fruits orange, fruits mango, fruits pineapple, fruit grapes. So these are the different array values that you have given. And what is the name of the variable? Fruits. So in this fruits, you can call all other fruits: apple, orange, mango, pineapple, grapes. Okay. And like this, if you want to give the values, score values, you have to give within the score as variable. The score value you have to give it in square bracket. Okay. So now when you look into this strings, so you have to write the strings in this way. Okay. And uh, string name is the keys are title and values like author are the keys, author, stock, price are the keys, and the values should be written like this. Okay, so this is the main format. So if you want to write it vertically, you have to write in this order. So it can be written vertically in this way. And this is how you can use some nested loop also, nested objects. Okay, so which object is being given as nested? Students is the main object, and CS is the nested object. Okay, and here you can write the you know the variable key and its values in a quotation. Okay, in a parenthesis. So here your K20 CS 1001. So that is a key, and these are the values. Number of strings that is being given as values. That is faculty is one object, and CSE is a nested object. And under the CSE, all other parameters are being given for this particular CSE, and the ID name and the students who belong to that particular ID. Okay, so this is how we can use the nested JSON objects. And the next one is the null data. So as I told, you can use the null data type also. So if there is any middle name, if you want to give it as null, you can use that middle name as null. And also not if there is any other last name, middle name and last name, if you want to give data type as null, okay, you can give that also. So these are the how all this null value, then strings, arrays, array value, and other string object strings. So you can see how these values are being given and the keys. Array boolean, the left side given parameters are the keys and the right side are the values. So now how you can able to access this JSON data. Okay. Normally when you implement this JSON information now, the entire data will be displayed. Okay. The main objective of using this JSON is it's like a you cannot view the know how the data is being processed. Okay, but you can see only what data you are processing. So here, in JSON, variable you are giving JSON data equal to. So these are the keys and the variable being passed. So now, if you want to type, document dot write name, okay, and this name will be extracted from JSON data is a variable name. JSON data dot name, then JSON data dot register number, then JSON data dot CGPS. So these are the variable name, and the values will be called through this variable name, and the name will be displayed. Okay, so that is the other main aspect. And now the main aspect is that, as I have told, only two informations will be processed. One is converting from strings to objects, where the client will be request to the server through strings, and the server will be converting that string to object, and it accepts, it evaluates or it implements and return the result by processing from string to object. Okay, so first, when converting a JavaScript object to JSON, that means it can be stored or it can be sent over through this APIs. Okay, that means now the information is being passed from object to string, means from server to the client. So how you have to use the stringify, because you have to convert from object available in server to string. So you have to use this function JSON.stringify. Okay, so you have to mention within the script and in a head tag. Okay, so you can give like this, uh, JSON.stringify. In that script, you can give, let student object is a variable name, then you call all this John David register number, you give all the key and you give the values. Okay, and then from object to JString, if you want to convert, first we have initialized the information, then you are converting. Let JSON string equal to, so this line is important. Okay, let JSON string equal to JSON.stringify student object. So now this object will be converted to string. Okay, console.log. So now you're going to print console.log serialized JSON. So that is a value which you're going to pass, and JSON string. You're going to call the value. Okay, so this is how you'll be converting from object to JSON. And then deserialization. One is serialization, and other one is deserialization. So now we are converting from JSON string to object. Okay, so for that, or what it means, client interacting with the server. So the client send an information through string, and the server will convert from string to the object. So for that, what we have to use, JSON.pass. So that is a function. Okay, so in receiver side, okay, we use this deserialization. Receiver side means in server side. Okay, let received object equal to JSON.parse of JSON string. So we are using this JSON.parse. Parse means it will convert from string to object. And then you give what are the values you have to implement: name, register number, department, skills. So if receive object, that means in the server side, if the object is being received, it is active, then print the active student, or else it will mention that not active student. Then give the uh, value as joining date. So what date you're going to join, that day. Okay. So now what we are going to do is, first we'll now display uh, in a table format. Okay. So now we are going to now send the information from sender to receiver, and from receiver side we are going to retrieve the information in a table column. So first we are going to declaring the variable. Okay, variable name is data, and we are going to initialize all the key values: name, John name, and register number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 details we are going to enter here. Now we are going to send from sender to the receiver. So sender will give JSON string. So because from string we have to convert to object. So the system will convert from string to object as JS on string equal to JSON dot, what function we have to use, stringify function. Okay, stringify of data. So what is this data? Data is a variable data, variable name. It's a data where we have given here. So that is sender side. Then when the sender receives the information, then what it should do, the receiver should get the information from the sender, and it should convert from object to string. Okay. So now the receiver, if you want to convert from object to string, means we have to use the parse. Okay. So JavaScript object equal to JSON dot parse. So this is how, when you use this JSON dot parse, it will convert from the server, which has already converted from string to object. So now it converts from object to string, and it will be, information will be sent to the receiver. So now we are going to display it in a tabular format. Okay. So we are going to start variable view one variable, and view data is another one variable. View data is sender side, view is sender side, view data is receiver side. Okay, so now receiver will get the information from the sender side, and it will display in the table format. Okay, so table data, table space, everything we just receive. And here we are going to concatenate. So view data. So what is the view data? View data plus the data. Okay, so here view data plus or equal to. So it will concatenate the both the uh, uh, both the parameters. One is data and the view data. So here view data you could able to see the keys and the values. View data you could able to see that informations will be received through this view. Okay, view is a variable name. Okay, so when you implement it, and also if you want to display these particular information, no, you have to write in body tag, body on load. So you should not forget this, body on load equal to display. Okay, by using the display method, you're going to get the information to view. Okay, so what is this view? No, information view is that in variable view you're going to document dot get element by ID. So what is that ID you're giving? View is ID. So through view ID, you're going to receive the information from the server side, and you're going to display. Okay. So here, when you see this, okay. So this is normal HTML and the JavaScript. Okay. So here I have no, initialized these JSON in the script tag. You could able to see. Okay. One minute. Okay. So now here you could able to see the JSON information. Variable data is a variable name, and here you have given all the keys, name, key, and file data you have implemented. And now you're going to send these information from client to the server, and the server accepts. Okay, this is the sender who sends information through the stringify. Okay, information stringify function, and the receiver will get the data from the sender, and will convert from object to string. So first sender will take string into object, and receiver side the server will convert from object to the string, and it will give for display the value. Okay, so here we use function display. Okay, so this method we use to display the information. We use a variable, and document.get element by ID. So through this view ID, we are going to retrieve the information. and here we have implemented the table script. Okay, so output will be in the form of table script. Okay, so here we are going to close this JSON and codes, and then in body tag we have to call that particular JSON function. Okay, so body on load equal to display. So by using display function, you're going to display the value from the keys, and then you're going to view. So through this view ID only, we are going to display the informations of this table data. Okay. So now when implement this, you could able to see. Okay. Name, register number, CGPA. So these you could able to see left side top corner. You could able to see the in the tabular column. You could able to see the values that is being converted from if from the side of server as object to string. Okay, so from string to object, okay, will be taken from the client side and server side object to string, and it will be displayed. So this is how we could able to see that how JSON works. And mainly before JSON, they use the XML. Okay, XML they used for displaying the object, but we cannot uh, know how the functionalities are being implemented. So it will be hidden. Okay, it's not like normal HTML. Mainly they use to process the data and display the information through this JSON. Okay, nowadays in every websites now they implement this JSON code so that there will be process will be very quick, and coding also will be uh, very good to implement. So these are the other main aspect of this, how JSON can be worked and how it can be implemented in HTML pages. Okay, so hope you might have understood, and I'll close the recording.